sense something, a presence I've not felt since...
Play the game. Play the game.
What has science done?
Play the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Faeria Floundering Part 9. Today we're going to be trying something a little bit different. What's going to happen is, throughout the recording, if there's any dead air or anything like that, I'm going to be speeding up the footage, probably just put a little bit of public domain music in there. I'm just going to try and make the videos a bit more smoother. I found that the past ones kind of dragged on a little bit. I'm really happy with the introductions. Some are hit or miss, but for the most part I like the formula that's going on. So if any point this speeds up, you'll know why. The deck I'm playing here is just a Juggernaut deck. It's 3 Crumbling Golems plus the equivalent of the Faceless Manipulator. I forgot the name, sorry about that. And essentially the idea is to keep buffing up the Crumbling Golems, so that way its effect, which is a negative of losing 1 health for every minion summoned, is negated by cards such as the Tiki Piper. So the goal is to rush down the enemy at the very beginning and take advantage of that. This really isn't a late game deck, and in quite a few games I got absolutely stomped. This is a very short match, just because I wanted to try this new formula out and see how it goes. For anyone who's not familiar with the character represented at the beginning of the game, its name is Morphing Jar. It's originally from the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. Essentially what it is it allows you to discard your entire hand and draw another one. It's very good for milling out your deck to get cards in the graveyard, and it's a pain in the arse. I actually remember, back when I was young, I only ever attended one Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament when I was 7. I was chaperoned by my dad. And what happened is I turned up there with a Sewer Gym, which is a relatively rare card, played against someone with a Morphing Jar, and by the end of the match I didn't have a Sewer Gym anymore. The mechanic is, not only do you shuffle your hand into the graveyard and then reshuffle a new one, but you actually swapped decks. So I would shuffle his deck and he would shuffle mine, and during that he took the opportunity to steal my most valuable cards. So yeah, a lot of salt when it comes to Morphing Jar or any card that reminds me of it. Nothing against the player who used it or anyone who does, it's just, yeah, personal issues with that card. And catching up with the events in the game, as you can see, use Tiki Hunter to buff up the Crumbling Golem, get back all the damage that was caused by his little 2-drops. And at this point I'm not really sure he has anything to stop me. He is running Desert decks, so it's possible that he might have a Last Nightmare in order to get rid of this card, but I am running another 2 Crumbling Golems, as well as I have the Elemental Salamander in my hand, which is really good for buffing. By the looks of it from that draw, it's probably going to be game over here. It appears he's running with Gem Silk Fairies, which are slow to start, and that's not what you want. And so at this stage we've established 2 Faeria engines, sitting nice and safe at my base, as well as a new Queen's Guard, which is going to continue to provide Faeria every time he gets into combat. With the 8/8 right at his base, even if he has a taunt, it's pretty much over. Yeah, I mean, that hold of the line's not going to make much of a difference. This is pretty much GG, so I'm going to speed ahead here, I think. And that'll be the end of the game. Thank you all for watching very much. Hopefully this is a little bit better than the previous ones. Just trying to cut out some of the dead air parts, and obviously making sure that you still see everything that happens, because in the TCG you got to be careful about editing out content, otherwise it can get quite confusing to carry on. So yeah, thank you all for watching.